Good morning, TL Travelers, and welcome back to the TL Travel YouTube channel. Today, I'm getting my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine, and this is just like a little bonus video for you guys. Obviously, it's not really being posted on my regular posting schedule, but I wanted to make sure that I brought you guys along and got you guys caught up after my first dose video, which if you haven't seen that one, I'll link it down below. But today I'm going to take you along for my second dose, share with you any side effects that I get over the next few days, and just sort of talk about my experience. Initially, if you will remember, I thought it was going to be 16 weeks possibly between our first and second dose here where I am in Canada, until I got this great news. Randomly, I have been informed that Alberta, which is where I live, are now opening up bookings for second doses for anyone who received their first dose last month, which is super exciting because we were initially told that there would be a 16-week gap between our first and our second. I think they were more so just saying that as a precaution so that they could get as many people dose number one as possible right away, and then they would do their best to sort of close that gap. Talk about speeding up that rollout, because it is now 5 weeks after my first dose and we are good to go to schedule our second. So I'm just doing that now. And yeah. So now that we got that second dose all booked up, Derek and I are both good to go. We are either getting second dose Pfizer today, or our second dose will be Moderna, because they are doing some mixing here in Alberta, Canada, where I'm at. So I will hop back on after I've gotten my vaccine to share with you whether or not that's something that happened and my thoughts on it, based on which vaccine we end up getting. So if you've not already, hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely do it. We generally post new travel content every single Sunday. And yeah, let's just jump into today's video. It's hot. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, we're in the middle of a heat wave. People's homes are literally melting.
2 hours later.
Okay, so we are out of our appointment and fully vaccinated now, officially. They made me change my mask from a fabric mask to a medical mask, but everything else was the same stuff, same as last time. Didn't hurt that much. I will say that in the first 15 minutes of sitting and waiting after my shot, waiting in the spot, my arm definitely hurt more this time, but they also said that was gonna happen. And I got Pfizer for my second dose. Derek, you got Pfizer for yours too, right?
Yep, Pfizer.
Yeah, so we got Pfizer for both. We did not mix, and honestly, if we had to mix, I wasn't too concerned about it because they are both mRNA vaccines, and as I've understand it, it's more of the only real difference is it's a brand difference versus an actual vaccine type difference. I probably would have had more questions if I was someone who had gotten AstraZeneca and then I was getting Pfizer or Moderna for my second dose, but that wasn't our situation, so I didn't really look too much into it. But I know people who mixed that way too and it was fine. But yeah, I'm not a doctor, so don't, that's that. So yeah, we are clearly driving and on our way home now, and I'm going to give you guys an update in the next little bit and just get off the camera now because we're in a heat wave and I had to turn off the AC in order to film this. So I'll catch up with you when we're somewhere cool. Okay, so 4-hour update. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little bit tired for sure. I can start to feel myself fading, and Derek is downstairs having a nap and watching a movie, so he was feeling pretty tired pretty soon after as well, in the first 4 hours. Other than that, my arm is actually feeling, I know I mentioned earlier that my arm was really sore, and it might still get sore again. I know first dose, it got pretty bad after a certain period of time, but I did a lot of I kept my arm moving right after my shot, did a lot of sort of stretching it around and these things, helicopter deal. So actually it's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Hoping that if I go down for a bit of a nap or just sort of take it easy today, that with a good night's sleep tonight, I should be good to go tomorrow. But that all remains to be seen. So Again, I will make this update super brief and check back in with you the moment that I have some like actual side effects to report. And if you stick around, I'm also going to talk a little bit about a side effect that I did experience after my first dose that I didn't have the chance to mention in my last video, just because like enough time had passed. You'll see. You'll see. Stick around. I'll leave a timestamp if you want to jump right there, but we'll get there.
Day 2.
Good morning. It is day 2. We're coming up on 24 hours after my second dose of the vaccine. And as you can probably tell, I'm in pretty good spirits. I will admit, after my check-in yesterday, Derek and I both had a bit of a nap from like 4:30 until maybe 7-ish. Got up, watched a movie, and then went back to bed until, I don't even know, probably slept for about 12 hours after that. So yeah, we did get a lot of sleep. We were both super tired, but waking up this morning, I feel super refreshed. I don't really have that same like drag that I had after the first dose, but that could be on its way. So I'm not gonna write it off just yet. And I do have some sore arm after sleeping on it for like 12 hours, which I kind of expected as well. So that's really all that I have experienced so far. But what I will do is take this quick opportunity to share the side effect that I had after the first dose that I wasn't able to share with you guys in that first video because it happened like more than the 4 days after the initial dose. So full disclosure, if you're like, this might be TMI, if you don't want to hear about any cycle stuff, I don't even know. I'm gonna talk about my period. Then you might want to skip forward, but it's not like a graphic thing, so don't even worry about it. But yeah, so basically right before, so when I got my Japanese influenza vaccine, like probably 10 years ago, it did change my cycle a little bit for a few of the cycles that happened directly after. And so when I went in for like to get some information on the COVID vaccine, I had asked the pharmacist if that was a possibility for this vaccine, like if that was a side effect. And he basically said like, for this specific vaccine, there's been, I mean, obviously there hasn't been like a specific clinical trial for it, but like mostly because they know that vaccines in general, that can be a side effect. Your body is stressed, it is, having an immune response. There's a lot of things that can change your cycle, especially if you're not on birth control, which I am not. So my cycle's always been pretty steady. But right after the first dose, my first cycle came 5 days early, and then my second cycle came 10 days early, which, as you can imagine, what a treat. And yeah, the cramps were horrible, which my cramps are horrible anyways, so, but this was like just an amplified situation. So if this is something that you are experiencing post-dose, it's nothing to worry about. I have also, just in case, I did call my doctor about the cramping side of things just to be on the safe side. If you can't tell, I like to really make a lot of calls and ask all the questions. Paranoia is a thing for me, but it works out really well because then I feel like I have the information that I need. So I called my doctor and she basically said like, nothing to worry about. If there's like, this might be TMI, but like if there's like consistency issues like clotting or like color, like discolor situation, like that would be a problem. Not a known side effect of the COVID vaccine, but just in general, like if that's what's happening to you, then that is an issue. But as far as getting the vaccine itself, they're saying that like after the second dose, generally just goes back to normal. So I did pick up some painkillers for potential cramping after this dose, just to be on the safe side, because I do not want to do that again. But yeah, hopefully that'll go back to normal. And yeah, that's just kind of, I think part of the joys of being a woman. So I'm not gonna update you again today unless there's like side effects that like pop their little heads up and ruin my day. But I will check in with you tomorrow for day 3 because I will do 4 days post-vaccine updates. And if my side effects remain pretty much none, then I will take some more time to answer some vaccine related questions from the good old Instagram and like anything that's appropriate that has come from my dose 1 video. So yeah, hopefully I'll just see you in day 3.
Day 3.
Good morning, everyone. It is post-vaccine day 3, and I'm here to report that I have no side effects. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that face like I was wanting side effects, but I really got myself prepared for side effects. The first time around, I had heard like, 50-50. Some people had really bad side effects and others had none, but be prepared just in case. But like definitely the second one really like gets you, right? So I prepared not only for the first dose, but the second dose to be down and out for like 4 days. I had, everything we needed to stay hydrated, and I had all of my like headache meds and everything on standby just in case things got a little bit too intolerable. I took time off work, but literally like I was tired in the hours post-vaccine and then had like a good night's sleep that night. And that was the last of it. So maybe what I'll do is pull some questions together and just see, if there's some questions that I can answer for you guys, if there's enough to like make a little segment out of it. And if it is, I'll come back and do those either later today or tomorrow, and then we will wrap this baby up.
2 hours later.
Okay, hi, hello. I'm back, and just a second. Oh. Derek wants me to bring him an iced tea. 2 seconds. Honey, I have your iced tea. Okay, hello, she's back. Okay, so I have pulled together a few questions, just as I did in my first video, and I'm going to answer those for you here now. Wait a second. There we go. So these questions are coming from Instagram and like from other video comments and things like that. Sorry, it's hot. So the first question is, how long did you end up having to wait between your first dose and your second dose? I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the video when I was talking about waiting between doses in Canada, but we ended up waiting about 6.5 weeks between the time that we got our first dose of Pfizer and when we got our second dose. The second question is, did you have to pay for your vaccine? And I can't always see where people are asking questions from, but no, in Canada, we did not have to pay for our vaccine at all. It was 100% covered. All we had to do was book it online and show up. The third question, are you still going to wear a mask? So this is an interesting one too, because it really, like when you look even just across Canada, there's different policies and like different stages of opening happening depending on, what their cases are like, and like the Delta variant is a thing now. So randomly, where I am here in Alberta, the mask mandate was lifted yesterday. So basically we're open for business and you don't have to wear a mask. But different businesses and things like that are allowed to ask you to wear a mask still if that makes them more comfortable. And Derek and I, when we made a couple of stops after our appointment, and so I guess it's been 2 days ago now that the mandate was lifted. We wore our masks when we went inside, and for the most part, the employees in the store and things like that, when they passed us, they'd say thank you for wearing your mask. And I thought that, that was very, I don't know. I mean, wearing my mask doesn't really bother me. And I know that it is for the protection of other people. You're not really fully covered until 14 days after your vaccine anyways, and with Delta going around, and I don't know, it just seems easier to just wear it. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. So, I mean, I don't know. You can call me a sheep if you want, but I'm totally one of those people where if it became law that if you weren't feeling well, you had to wear a mask when you went outside, I just would do that. Not because I can't think for myself, but just because I'm one of those people where like I would always rather protect other people and make sure that other people are comfortable. And you know, spend a lot of time in Southeast Asia and stuff where that just is how it is, where like if you have a cough or if you're like not feeling well, you put a mask on when you're in a public space because you're around other people and in close contact. It's just kind of like the way that they live life, and I've always really appreciated that. So I don't have a problem with it, so I am going to. And yeah, that's just like our personal thing though. No judgment on anybody who, you know, gets fully vaccinated and is out there, you know, mask free, living their best life. Totally legal, totally cool. Love it for you. The fourth question, did you get a vaccine passport, or do you think that's going to be a thing? So I don't know if people in the US are getting like a special card right now, but I had a lot of people asking if I got my vaccine passport. And I did a video on vaccine passports, and I'll link that above. But like, if that already exists, we didn't get one, and I don't know what that is, but it will go on my immunization record. And since I began travel ever, I've always had a printout of my vaccination immunization record when I travel to bring with me to other countries. So in essence, that has been my vaccine passport forever. So I'll always have that regardless. And then if there does become like a special document that you need or something that you need on your phone, I'll get that. But as of right now, that's not a thing here. And then I also had a few questions because I did post about my cycle situation that I talked about with you guys earlier in this video online. And I had a lot of questions and like comments and things from people asking like, aren't you concerned about your fertility? And like from people who are pregnant who have chosen not to get the vaccine. And on the flip side, people who are pregnant who have chosen to get the vaccine. That whole topic is obviously delicate, and I am not a mother, and I am not trying to become a mother. So while I have looked into, like, just out of curiosity and slight paranoia, I have looked into that a little bit. That wasn't the biggest concern for me, so I don't know enough about it to really comment on it. My feelings on it is that it's not something that I was concerned about for myself, so I did not do like deep dive reading on it. And I mean, if you're a mother and you are pregnant with another human life and you decide to get the vaccine to protect that child, or you decide not to protect that child, that is fine by me. Like, I have no, I mean, if you know me or have been on this channel for any amount of time at all, I certainly have my own opinions, but just because I have an opinion that feels best for me doesn't at all mean that I'm not coming for you. Does that make sense? So be a mom, protect your little one. I just don't know enough about it, but I would never, ever want anyone to think that that I'm judging their ability to parent when I'm not a parent, you know? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyways, those were the only questions that I got that were not duplicates of questions that I answered in my first dose video. So I will link my first dose video for you to check out if I haven't already done that already. It'll be in the description as well. And then what I guess I'm gonna do now is I'm either going to, so if the end screen happens right after this, then assume that I'm just fine and I didn't have any day 4 side effects. And then if I did have day 4 side effects, I will pop them in right after this clip. But yeah, so like and subscribe if you haven't already, just in case this is the And if you have been following our travel series, our van life series, that is still continuing. So that will be back on Sunday, new travel content every single Sunday, as always, as promised. And yeah. Let's see if I have any side effects, shall we?
Day 4.
Oh, hey there. It is post-vaccine day 4, and here I am in your end screen just to let you know that I had no additional side effects, feeling great, living my best vaccinated life, and excited to just, keep things moving. So like and subscribe, and I will see you in my travel videos.